how bad are internet shutdowns in India, and where does the country rank globally on this, not very gratifying thing?
So India is the internet shutdowns capital of the world. Till 2022, we can easily say that India had 70% more shutdowns than rest of the world. Certain countries which are after India and like there's a huge margin were Myanmar, Yemen, Pakistan, countries which do not have a very good track record of democracy. Till date, we have documented 553 shutdowns from 2012. Out of these 553 shutdowns, 319 are in Jammu and Kashmir. Mobile internet, Wi-Fi, and even corporate lines went out. These shutdowns are hyperlocal in the manner that if you shut down one tower in one remote region of the country, it'll be very, very hard, to figure out that it has happened. Because by the time the news comes out, it has been restored. And there is a severe lack of public awareness on shutdowns. It is only after internet was shut down in Delhi on 19th December 2019 during the CA protests that internet shutdown actually caught the attention of media and of the world.
Okay, so moving on to understand what an internet shutdown, especially for those of us sitting in Delhi, it's a rare occasion. Chalat, as Radhika told us and as you experience daily, it's Kashmir seems to be the most hard hit by these shutdowns. Can you tell us what does it do for life over there, whether it's for your life or people just what does a shutdown do?
I'd like to start with an anecdote. Just last year, I had my final year exams. In the middle of the pandemic, everything was going online. And in the middle of the pandemic, I had to travel to Delhi just to give my online exam because we had no internet here. Broadband internet is a luxury here, basically. Students haven't been able to really join those classes. They haven't been able to register for competitive exams like NEET, JEE. Sometimes people have even missed deadlines for college registration throughout India. We often get stuck in statistics when we talk about internet shutdowns, but we do not talk about the effect on the attitude of the people when it comes to internet shutdowns. So throughout the world, in various parts of India, we see how businesses, how education institutions are moving online, right? So businesses are using digital payments, they are using cloud accounting, they are basically using a lot of internet-based tools, right? But in Kashmir, significant part of the Kashmiri population are laggards, basically. They're not moving to internet because it's not reliable enough. Most of the pathology labs in Kashmir do not have equipment. So what they basically do is that they take the samples, they send them to Delhi, they send them to Bangalore, and then receive online reports. During this longest ever shutdown, we also faced a pandemic in between, and they were not basically able to get those test reports from these labs. So it was very serious. There has been no research in this field. There's no data on how many lives were lost because of internet shutdown. It's a very serious issue. It's not just about not being able to access YouTube. It's not only about not being able to access social media websites. It's actually taking lives here. So it's a very serious issue.
Ranju, I want to turn to you now. You're in Itanagar, mainstream Delhi media, and I'm part of that, rarely covers Arunachal, right? So even when you have shutdowns, we know when Kashmir has shutdowns, it often makes it to the news, if not every time, but often enough at least. But we don't often get to know when you guys have shutdowns. Can you talk about what the lack of coverage does? Can you talk about why do you think these shutdowns happen in your part of the world, and how does it impact life over there? Again, in the last 2 years, as the rest of the world has moved online, has it made it harder, or has it just been the same level of adversity?
Obviously, people are not happy about it. Everyone's upset because we are so reliant on the internet for our communication, for our businesses, and for even for our entertainment. Because we live in comparatively smaller towns, we are dependent on cash, and it's not that the ATMs have a lot of cash in them. There are long queues, and cash runs out. That's when you need to move to the digital platforms. So not having internet, for us in Arunachal at least, we need to look at it from two points of view. One is how and when the internet shutdowns are ordered by the government, which adversely affects your movement. I have Wi-Fi at home, I have broadband at home. so I can stay connected. But if I have to go out and do the actual reporting on the ground, how do I get updates? Where do I get the information from? And the other thing is, because we are reliant mostly on mobile internet, and mobile internet penetration is also not very deep. So even when we go to some remote places, you have to go there, talk to the people, talk to the officials, get a ground reality check, and then come back 2 days later. Then you file the stories, and sometimes by that time the news becomes stale, and the audience's hunger and desire to consume that news itself dies down.
Radhika, can you talk to us a little bit about the law?
We are governed by temporary suspension of telecom services rule, which were notified in 2017. The most popular reason that's given by the government is that they want to stop rumor mongering over social media. We have seen like a growing trend of internet shutdowns to prevent cheating in exams. The Supreme Court has refrained from declaring internet as a fundamental right, but they did say that internet should be a fundamental right as per as your trade and profession are concerned. The Government of India, in questions asked in Parliament, has specifically said that they don't maintain any data. They have no data on the number of internet shutdowns that have been imposed.
Any solutions that you want to offer to the government, or any of you, Shailath, Ranju?
I'd like to just add to what Radhika said. What are the justifications given for internet shutdowns? Misinformation, rumor mongering, disinformation, etc. Right? So let's look at major upheavals, major turmoils throughout the world that we have recently seen: the George Floyd protests, the Capitol Hill riots in Washington, the Yellow Jacket riots in France, right? So have we ever heard of an internet shutdown there? Have we ever even read an opinion piece in a newspaper or on an online web portal which has talked about internet shutdown? Ranju comes from Arunachal Pradesh. I come from Kashmir. We are from conflict zones. We need internet to share our stories. George Floyd's story got international traction because that video got out, right, through the internet. So we have thousands of George Floyds here. We have thousands of such stories, and those stories cannot come out if there are internet shutdowns. So here we also should question the intention of the government. Why are they imposing internet shutdowns? Is it just to curb the misinformation, or is it also to curb the information on human rights violations here in Kashmir and elsewhere in Northeast, in Arunachal Pradesh, in Nagaland, where we have draconian laws, where we have security forces use these arbitrary powers against people, against innocents, and these stories are not coming out because of these internet shutdowns and all of these communication blockades. In a digital India, you cannot have internet shutdowns whenever there is an exam, whenever there's an encounter in Kashmir, whenever there's a national day. Republic Day is coming. I know that I won't be able to work for the entire day because parade ho raha hai yahan pe.
I think as we stayed holed up in our homes, indoors, not being able to meet people, not being able to go to work even, I feel that internet connectivity, access to internet is and should be a basic human right. It should be enshrined in the Constitution, that access to information. It's not just social media. It's not just entertainment. It's access to information that the internet provides. And to have that taken away for whatever the reasons may be, I think that it is internet shutdowns are reflective of the state's failure to be able to handle those situations in a different manner. I'm sure there must be a different way you can fight these apparent problems that the governments give an excuse for.